Okay, we're gonna ult with Bennett. Ult with Venti. Ult and then E. Okay, yeah, I mean... Welcome back to another account review. Today we're on No Name's account. Now, as you can see, AR60, he has been playing for a long time. I mean, even on my main account, I'm only like AR57, I think. So, like, I know it takes a long time to get to AR60. He has told me some characters that he wants me to specifically look at, which is Venti, Raiden, and a few others. His Venti specifically is top 500 in the entire world, or maybe just on EU. I don't know how they come up with the statistic, but he's top 2%. And if you know me, you know I love Venti, so I'm gonna be excited to try that out. He said he likes Nuve, but he hasn't built them yet. Still pretty decent crit rate to crit damage, but the artifacts aren't like fully done, and he's only level 70. Before we start the review, I want to say if you do enjoy my content, a like and subscribe would be appreciated. And if you want to get in touch with me to maybe get your account reviewed or any other video ideas, I'll leave a link to my Twitter in the description or X, and you can DM me on there. While we're here, I think we should just start at the Spiral Abyss, like have a look at the history, see if he does the Spiral Abyss, how many stars he gets. So this cycle, he has got floor 11 3-starred. Or 9-starred, I suppose. If we look at the challenge summary, then last time he got 34 stars, which is the max, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, Deepest Descent, floor 12, chamber 3, I presume he 9-starred it. And then as we go back, he's got pretty consistent high stars. But I myself am not really a big fan of Spiral Abyss. I think it's just a bit annoying. It doesn't really give very good primo gems for how much effort and how long it takes. But it's a good way to test your account, and as I can see, he is able to beat it. Let's just go through the characters. Obviously, Nuve, level 90 R2 Lost Prayer. He's in the middle of building him, so I'm not going to go too in depth. But Zhongli looks pretty good. 36k HP, which is really good for shield bot. Obviously, Black Tassel R5, that's what I use as well. But if we look at the details, he has a pretty good crit value. So he can still hit hard. Wow. Double crowned with a level 9 normal attack as well. C0, which is fine. You don't need any constellations on Zhongli. I'll have a look if any artifacts really stand out. That's an excellent one. A lot of crit value with AR. That's also an absolutely amazing one. That's pretty good with the amount of energy recharge. And the circlet isn't terrible. You would want more rolls into crit damage. I'm not sure if he gets any benefit from defense. I think that the HP just scales... I think the shield just scales off HP, but if it does get a bit from defense, that's fine. I'm not 100%. But that's a pretty good Zhongli. Kazuha with a lot of EM. That's actually some of the most EM I've saw on a Kazuha. Not very good crit rate, crit damage. I think the Kazuha does benefit from that, because I'm pretty sure his plunge attacks can crit. And that does actually give a lot of value. While we're here, we've got a crowned and then level 9, level 9. I would crown all of them if you do use Kazuha a lot. Unlucky with C0 because C1 is absolutely amazing. See, I mean, every piece just has a good chunk of elemental mastery. That's an amazing goblet to get that much EM and a bit of energy recharge. Even though the main stat isn't EM, that's like a lot of value. That's honestly not a bad circlet. It's hard to get EM circlets with good substats. See, I mean, that is a like amazing Kazuha. If you can get crit rate up a little bit, that would be amazing. I'm not sure if that's enough energy recharge too, because his ult is 60 energy cost. And obviously when you have C1, it kind of negates the need for a lot of energy recharge, but you might need a little bit to get his burst up consistently. And here we have the Venti. 200 EM, which isn't great, but if you look at the crit value and energy recharge, you see a lot of value there. He has an R3 stringless, so he'll be even better once that's R5. C0, which is fine. Venti has really bad constellations in my opinion. The only decent one is the one that increases his ult by 3 levels. Obviously, crowned ult, level 9 E, and level 6 normal attack. His Skill, that is actually what I would do as well. His skill has pretty good scaling, so you can do a good chunk of damage. If it crits, you'll probably hit like 15k. But I don't think it's enough that you need to crown it. His ult, I agree, crown that, and I have his combat at like level 4, I think. He has some absolutely amazing artifacts. This flower, a huge chunk of energy recharge, huge chunk of crit damage, a bit of crit rate. That's pretty good too with the crit value. That's actually really not bad. It would have been nice to get a lot more into the elemental mastery. And of course, the crit rate. That's an absolutely outstanding goblet. Animo damage main stat, but you've got the crit damage, you've got the ER, you've got the EM. And a not amazing circlet, but it's on set, which is quite hard to get good pieces for. Well, let me start off by saying this is obviously an amazing Venti. I'm not sure why they rate it so highly though, like top 2%. Venti doesn't really need that much energy recharge. His burst does need 60 energy, but with his passive talent, yeah, this one, regenerates 15 energy when the ult is ended. And you also get a good chunk of animo particles from his skill. So I think this could be a way better Venti just by finding a piece that has a load of energy recharge, like this piece, and just giving him more EM. It's an absolutely amazing Venti, but yeah, I think maybe even 150 energy recharge would be fine, as long as you have him in a couple of rotations getting his skill down. Obviously, if you're playing him in a team with not many elemental particles flying around, which would be weird to not play Venti in a comp like that, then you would need high ER. But I mean, if you're swapping to him, clicking E maybe twice a rotation, you'd be able to get his ult up with like 140, 150 ER. And then you'd be able to get a lot more crit value. Honestly, I would want more elemental mastery too. But yeah, that's an amazing Venti. Eula is another that they pointed out I need to look at. Immediately 2.5k attack is a lot of attack with very good crit stats. An R2 Wolf's Gravestone, which is very good on Eula. She has her ult crowned with level 8 skill and level 9 auto attack. C0. Her artifacts are weird because there isn't any that I look at and I'm like, that is an absolutely outrageous artifact. But there isn't a single one that's bad. That's a huge chunk of crit damage. That's very nice crit value. That's good crit value with good ER. Good crit value with ER. No, I'm not a huge fan of Eula. I don't really like her playstyle, but I know that she hits hard. When her ult crits, I know she's doing a lot of damage. We've got Cyno or Cyno, I'm not 100% how to pronounce his name, with very, very good crit stats. He has an R4 white tassel on. You're not R5 that? No. How do you not have 5 white tassels? But the white tassel is actually great. It gives a pretty decent amount of crit rate. Not a huge base attack because it is a 3-star, but at R5 it gives about 50% normal attack damage increase, which is pretty much all of Cyno's damage. Very nice flower. Not the best substats in the world. The flower's really good with a lot of crit value. We're having EM Sands with a little bit of crit rate too. The goblet's electro damage with pretty good crit value and a huge chunk of EM. And then we've got a crit rate circlet with 40 EM and 21 crit damage, which is actually pretty good. Now, Raiden Shogun is another that they said I needed to look at because she was very well built. We've got a pretty decent crit ratio. But what I'm looking at is the 295% energy recharge. Now, if you don't know, the Emblem of Severed Fate set, the 4-piece increases elemental burst damage by 25% of energy recharge. A maximum of 75% bonus damage can be obtained in that way. That means 300% is the max cap for the buff from that. And he is extremely close to 300%. I think my Raiden's like 250, so he's doing better than me. While still getting crit value. We have the Engulfing Lightning, which is her best. Engulfing Lightning. Yeah, I said it right. We have the Engulfing Lightning, which is her best in slot weapon. Her signature weapon too. Which just gives a bunch of energy recharge and a very good little set piece here. Her artifacts are pretty good. The flower immediately, I believe that's like 46% crit value, which is just ridiculous. We have a plume on set with really good crit value, energy recharge, and elemental mastery. There isn't a value that isn't being used by her there. Not the best sans. That is actually a good chunk of crit rate. 30 crit value isn't bad with the attack percent, but it could be better. Extremely good goblet. It isn't the highest crit value, but that's a good chunk of energy recharge, and the attack doesn't hurt either. And then obviously not a terrible circlet. The circlets are always pretty difficult to get. You've got crit damage with the 20 crit value on the substats and a chunk of energy recharge. Obviously, I'm sure he wants a bit more crit rate, but the energy recharge is pretty perfect and the crit damage isn't bad. I'm sure Raiden absolutely slaps. So Yelan and Tao are the last two that he told me to look at specifically. Yelan has an absolute... Jesus, that's an outrageous crit ratio. A nice chunk of energy recharge too, with not horrible attack. She has Aqua Simulacra, her best in slot, and her signature weapon. 10, 10, 8. That's amazing. C0, like most, I don't think he really goes for constellations because he is like kind of free to play. He's bought Welkin Moon 4 times, so a very, very low spender. We're just going to speedrun through some of these. Absolutely amazing flower. Pretty good plume, actually. Well, actually, that's an outrageous plume. What's that? 35 crit value with HP and energy recharge. We've got HP percent with a huge chunk of crit damage. Hydro damage bonus with an amazing substats, actually. Like 32 crit value with HP percent. And then I think this is the best circlet on the account. We've got crit rate with that 22% crit damage. EM, energy recharge, attack percent. That is outrageous. I'm gonna be trying Yelan. Personally, I'm a big fan of Yoimiya. He has built her, and that's not bad crit value again. We've got an R5 Rust, which is absolutely amazing value for a Yoimiya, because she doesn't charge attack, so she pretty much just gets her attack increased by 80%. We've got level 7, level 9, very high level talents. C0 again, let's have a look at these artifacts. This one stands out to me a lot, huge crit value with EM. And the crit damage circlet with crit rate, HP, energy recharge, and EM, that isn't bad. Now I'm excited for Tao because he pointed her out. I'm presuming Staff of Homer. For a really low spender, I'm surprised about how many signature weapons this guy has. 67 to 42 is very high. Triple crowned C0, but let's have a look at these artifacts. Huge chunk of elemental mastery, good crit value. Absolutely insane crit value with energy recharge. An EM Sans on set with HP percent crit damage crit rate, that's really good. Pyro damage bonus with attack percent, crit rate, energy recharge, and crit damage. That is one of the best pieces on the account. I'm gonna lock that for him. And a crit rate circlet with a good chunk of crit damage, but also pretty high EM. That, I think, is the best build character on the account, for me at least. I will be trying her out later. I'm not 100% sure how to build Nahida. He has pretty good crit value. A lot of elemental mastery, so I presume that helps with the bloom and other elemental reactions that Dendro does. R4 sack frags. Level 8, level 8, level 2. C0. Let's have a look at these artifacts. This is an absolutely insane piece. 46.7 crit value with HP and defense. That is an amazing goblet with like 30 crit value with EM. And then a crit damage circlet with 12.8% crit rate. That isn't bad, to be honest. I'm never really harsh on circlets because they are very difficult to get. For the 4 stars, I'm only going to really look at characters that I like and I'm interested in. I build Bennett with a lot of crit. He has 200% ER, so is he using Emblem of Severed Fate? No. You don't really need that high of energy recharge on Bennett. I normally recommend about 160, depending on if you have another pyro character in the team, like making particles. Akia Favonia, which is one of Bennett's best in slots. He has a couple amazing picks. This plume is actually outrageous because that has a huge amount of EM with energy recharge and crit rate. He's using an energy recharge sans, so I would say either use a HP or attack percent sans and try and get a good energy recharge substat. Your sans, goblet, and circlet don't have any energy recharge substats, so I would just get rid of that sans and try and look for the energy recharge somewhere else. I've got My poor... He has Bennett C5. Obviously, he could do C6. I actually have started telling people they should. I really like C6 Bennett now. Obviously, it means you can't use them in comps with, like, Eula or anyone who doesn't have an infused weapon already. I mean, if you're using Bennett with, like, Tao, if you're using him with Yoimiya, even Yelan, if you're just using her ult and swapping off, Bennett can just give 15% extra damage to Pyro DPS. Sing Cho, C6. I love Sing Cho. I think he's amazing. Pretty good crit value too. He is on Emblem Sword Fate, so you want a lot more energy recharge. I presume that maybe he just got replaced with Yelan. I hope he still uses them because I love Sing Cho. And his official C6, which is going to be absolutely outrageous if you're using her with Neuvillette. Now let's test out some of these characters. I'm going to try two of the teams that they've already set up and then probably make my own and try that. I haven't got a Yoimiya or a Yelan actually, so I'm excited to use this one. I think we're going to try it on the Magukenki. I believe that's what this guy's called. Yep. I'm not even really 100% sure on the rotations to use. I believe we just E with Yelan ult and then E with Yoimiya and spam left click. Obviously we shield and Bennett ult before that. Just ignore it if my rotations aren't perfect.
This is order.
Oh, of course, he becomes immune as soon as we start attacking, but that's 40k vaporizers. 40, 90... Oh my god, Yelan can do this all just by herself? Oh, so Yelan gets like a special attack after Ian, right? Or skilling. So she does that, and she gets this. Wow. Yelan is ridiculous. Okay, I mean, Yoimiya's hitting like 20k per attack, and Yelan hits 40k with her skill, and then another like 20k with a normal attack. I'm gonna take Yelan to the Pyro Regis Vine, and I'm gonna only use Bennett buff and just see how much Yelan does. I'm gonna Bennett buff E. I'm gonna do the charge attack, which I didn't get there for some reason. Well, I mean, that's only Bennett buff, and we're getting 10k per attack. I mean, if we swirled, if we had other elemental reactions going on, if we were vaporizing that, Yelan is an absolute tank. We're just going to do it now. We're going to do this. We're going to run in with Yelan. And then obviously he's disappeared. This guy's annoying. Just stay in one place. Okay, but this is what I wanted to try anyway. 46k. Oh, I didn't crit. But like 56k on a charge attack is absolutely outrageous. Before we end it off, I'm just going to take Venti into the Viridescent domain with this team. So I'm just trying to get energy, and I've nearly killed two of them. Okay, so that guy's dead, but okay, we're gonna ult with Bennett, ult with Venti, ult, and then E. Okay, yeah, I mean, they're all dead. Like, I don't know, it says 41 seconds. 41 seconds isn't a bad time, but I spent the first 25 getting energy. So bearing in mind, this guy's probably spent like maybe $30 max ever on this account. I mean, this account's absolutely amazing. Obviously, with anything, there's some improvements, but I'm sure that this guy can clear anything in the game. So thank you again. I don't know if you go by No Name or Trifo, but thank you for letting me review the account today. And if you want your account reviewed like this or anything else, get in touch with me on X. The link will be in the description. I hope you enjoyed. Bye bye.